I'm Marie Galmstrup, and I'm an associate partner and of Henning Larsen Architects, and I am a principal running our office here in Istanbul. Henning Larsen Architects was founded in 1959, so more than 50 years ago. We are 220 architects spread over 5 offices. Main office in Copenhagen, but in an office in Munich, in Germany, in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, in Oslo, Norway, and then we set up here in Istanbul in November last year, so less than a year ago, and we are 14 people working from here. Architecture is about space and it's about interaction between people. I think I come from a Scandinavian tradition which is rooted in aesthetic and function very much together. Aesthetic meaning the spatial layout, the atmosphere, the quality, how does it feel to be a, what's the proportion of a space, and function, which I think is very much to do with the user. We're not living in our own buildings, well, some of them, but not most of them, so who are you designing for? We work in many different cultures, many different climates, so putting yourself in the users, trying to figure out how does it work here and how is it different in this cultural environment or in that climate. The physical environment that we surround ourselves with, it influences very much how we engage with each other, what we do, how we meet, how we interact. And I think we have a big responsibility as architects, and it's a bit back to the user and giving back to the city or giving back to the people living, using the buildings. I think I think we have a big responsibility, whether it's the interaction between people, but also sustainable. I mean, 40% of energy consumption generally comes from buildings, so if we don't look at, again, where we are, and if we don't respond to that reality, we're not doing anything socially back and giving back to society. Creativity, I think, is about having original ideas that have value. And I think that kind of answers the innovation. I don't think innovation is, yes, it's about new technologies and progress, but I think most of all it's about adding value. And I think shaping or really, holding on to the creativity in the office, even if you're a very big office, is the most important part. Keep having these original ideas that have value. When they stop having value, you're just producing. And I think that's what, when your office is growing, you have to be very careful about. I like conversations over dinner with friends more than I like the reception and networking. However, that's super important in our business, that we do have, network, and that we're out at events like here. However, we have a very strong and long portfolio of implementing projects. So I think that's maybe our biggest network. That's our projects, and that's our clients, and the people we're involved with doing those processes. It's just as much network for us as going to a smart reception in with a cocktail or something. Curiosity, I think, is the key word in education. I've been teaching myself, and I think having a critical approach to what you do, being able to understand what a concept is, models, learning about scale, and then be precise about it. That would be my kind of process, but I think staying curious, staying open to the world and open to what's around you, and not always do what your teacher might tell you or your tutor, or so that keep challenging, seeing other opportunities. That's maybe the most important part of education. That has been a nice and busy journey. Things are very complicated here. There's a lot of bureaucracy. There's on one side, and there's a lot of flexibility on the other side. So you need to kind of move between a lot of different systems, and you have to take one thing at a time, because you try to plan as much as you can, but it's very hard to plan. So patience and persistence. I think that's one side of the kind of the establishment of it. But more importantly, I think finding people, finding a good team. We're a mix of Scandinavian and or European and Turkish architects here. We didn't know where to find colleagues. So I think, and we have a team that has to work with very different cultural mindsets and very different educations, and that is can be tremendously frustrating, but is tremendously inspiring. Imagination is a platform, an informal platform for young students from Europe and Middle East, Turkey, all over the world. We founded this back in 2008. We did the first one. It was a 2-day workshop in Damascus, in Syria, where we had students from different cultures, brought them together in a 2 weeks workshop under a theme. The workshops is not so much about the heavy academic product of a workshop. It's more about seeing your own culture maybe in a different optic. It's about questioning. It's about sharing ideas. It's about whether it's on architecture or in life. So it's more bringing people together in an environment outside university, outside practice. So we've done this 3 times now in 3 different countries, and we hope also we'll be doing one here in Turkey. But the main thing is knowledge sharing. It's the cultural meeting.